So, what is uh, the purpose of philosophy and the alternative? What are we trying to do with philosophy? And so here's the rational science version. Science is rational explanations and it's divided into physics and philosophy. And the portion that deals with philosophy deals with reasons and purpose. Religion, on the other hand, which is not philosophy, religion is opinions and beliefs. And it includes all those items there, anything related to the senses, truth, fact, knowledge, proof, evidence, consciousness, sensations. And that's why we ended up with irrational theories, which include all of mathematical physics, theism, atheism, agnosticism, epistemology, knowledge, right? Ontology, what exists from a knowledge point of view, not what exists out there independent of man, but what man thinks exists out there based on his senses. And, metaphysics, which is, ontology is a branch of metaphysics. So this is the issue. The issue is that what we've done is we've made philosophy very subjective, and anyone who's been doing philosophy, quotations, for the last 2,500 years has been doing subjectivity. And so it's funny that Ayn Rand said, oh, her stuff is not. Her stuff is objective. No, because she did philosophy the old-fashioned way, Aristotle's way, okay? She did it the old-fashioned way. She didn't realize that she had to define philosophy very strictly first. And if she wants to be objective, she's got to put it under science, because science is objective. Religion is not objective. Religion is totally subjective. So philosophy is not part of religion, and religion is not a part of philosophy. They're two separate things. Religion only has irrational proposals or supernatural proposals. Philosophy has to be rational. So what are we trying to do with this rationality? Well, if it's part of science, you got to explain something, because science, rational science at least, explains, okay? And so here you have the definition of philosophy. It's rational explanations of behaviors. You want to know why someone did something, maybe in psychology or psychiatry. Maybe you want to know, again, like I always use the example, why Napoleon went to Waterloo. You want to have a theory, an explanation. Theories are part of science, and it's got to be objective. Objective means I believe. No, you can believe whatever you want. Here you're at the conference, you're going to explain why, right? Why Napoleon went to Waterloo. And people say, oh, but that's your belief. Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's my belief or I'm representing someone else's belief. I could talk about, for example, in the case of general relativity, I can talk about space-time. Does that mean I believe in space-time because I theorize about space-time? And likewise, I can present a theory about why Napoleon went to Waterloo. Does that mean I believe in that theory? No, maybe I can say, look, perhaps he went for this reason. That's a theory. You might believe it, you might not believe it. It doesn't matter. What you believe is your personal opinion. But the theory, the reason that you're explaining that you're explaining the reason why Napoleon went to Waterloo, that's objective. Okay? That's what philosophy does. All these are part of philosophy. And you say, how do you justify that? And here's the justification, okay? And the justification is the social sciences, okay? You have all these so-called social sciences. And if you look it up, it says a category of academic disciplines concerned with society and the relationships among individuals within a society. The disciplines include, but are not limited to, and here you have the big list, okay? And you will see history, you will see psychology, political science, and so on. You'll see all these different categories that fall under what we call social sciences. And so here's the million-dollar question. Why are these so-called sciences? What is scientific about them? And again, you would have to define what science is to incorporate the social sciences. Because science is no longer just the empirical stuff that you do by going to the lab and running some kind of experiment. This is a science too, and what are you going to do? Some kind of chemical experiment? You're going to mix two chemicals to show why Napoleon went to Waterloo? No. If history is going to fall under the social sciences and it's a science, what is scientific about them? How do you define, please help me, how do you define science in such a way as to incorporate the social sciences? What are you incorporating? What you're incorporating is explanations. A theory is an explanation of something. In the case of physics, an explanation of a mechanical or phenomenon, mechanistics of it, or a cause. And in philosophy, what we're explaining is reasons and purposes, intentions. Why did someone do something? Otherwise, it's not scientific. Otherwise, you can't call them science. And all those social sciences, the explanations that go into each one of those disciplines, those together is what we call philosophy. Okay? And you might say, well, you don't agree. Fine, you don't have to agree. We don't agree in science. What you have to do is come up with a definition of philosophy that we can use consistently. And if you can't do it and you just say, well, I'm not going to get into that ring, I'm not going to fight, well, no, all you got is a religion.